What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 30 Days of Podcasting YouTube edition. This is just the gold, just the quick bits. 30 Days of Podcasting exists to help you come from a uncomfortable beginner podcaster all the way through till you have a show that you can be proud of. And today we are looking at your ideal audience, because if you are just talking with no audience, then why have a podcast? You could actually just talk to, the wall. It doesn't matter. So today we are looking at how to pick your audience, and we're going to start with how do you find them? Well, your ideal audience, if you have any data on them already, that's a good place to start. Big companies use big data to nail down their audience without having to do any work, really, because they know, well, our audience is 50% women, so it doesn't matter if we're appealing to either side. We know that 85% of our audience are repeat customers. So we don't have to re-engineer to educate our people on what our products are because they already know. Once you have some data, you can run with that. If you don't have data, you might be appealing to your younger you or someone in your space that this is the type of person. This is what drives them. This is what motivates them. This type of person. A younger you might be, the Jimi Hendrix model. You're teaching someone something that you learned 2 weeks ago, but they don't know it yet. So you just stay 2 weeks ahead of them all along the way. That could be your audience. Your audience, you need to understand that there are hundreds of blog articles. There are books written. There are webinars. You can probably, after this video, go YouTube, how to find my audience, and you'll find 20 different methods to how to nail down your audience. But here's why we need to take the time to do this, to nail down who we're talking to. And that's because there's a connection that happens in a podcast that doesn't happen anywhere else. You are in people's ears, literally. Most people listen to podcasts in earbuds or a car radio. You have a captive audience that has chosen to listen to you. You are providing something to them that matters to them. That's huge. Because you have a level of trust, you have a level of communication that most mediums don't have. When you know who you're talking with, that connection becomes so much more important. It becomes easier, really. If you pick up the phone and called a random person and tried to talk to them for an hour, it'd be really hard to do. But if you knew the person on the other end, you knew what they were looking for, what they were interested in, some of the questions they already had. And you knew how to address those in a way that made sense, in the language that they understand. You're halfway there. So we really got to nail down who our audience is. But at the same time, we can't stress out over this and become, analysis by paralysis. Because what if you get this wrong? Your podcast is doomed. No. It's fine. Your audience will actually change over time. You'll change over time. If you're doing the same show 3 years from today, and you haven't adapted and grown, and your show hasn't changed perspectives or appealed to a different audience, then you're probably doing something wrong in general. So what if you get this wrong? It's fine. You'll figure it out. The right audience will find you eventually. It'll just take longer. So if you have the right why are you doing a show? You've got goals that make sense, that are smart, they're measurable. They apply to what you want for your show. If you have value that you can provide to people, and you know who you're trying to apply this to, this is a foundation that we're going to build on. This is huge. This is why we haven't addressed equipment or technique or software or any of that yet. Because that is all great and it matters, but if you don't have that foundation to build on, it's all going to crumble. You'll suffer pod fade, and you'll be one of the many who didn't make it. But if you put in the time to build the solid foundation, I can guarantee that you'll have a show that makes an impact. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about transformation and how your message, your value can transform lives and why that matters. Before you talk about equipment. So come back tomorrow. We'll talk about transformation. And I will see you next time on 30 Days of Podcasting.